Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We basically have one more thing to do to these carburetors because I don't want to tear them apart. I had my cousin rebuild them, and it looks like we have some gasket maker in the float bowls. He probably didn't have the proper gaskets, so I am not going to break these open because that's going to create a lot more work that I don't really need to do. I trust they're clean. So we're just going to make a couple adjustments here. Now that we have the choke functioning as it should. Look at that. Perfection. Okay. So that aside, we're going to bench sink these carburetors. And a lot of guys will tell you what to do here. This is how I do it. And all you really need is a screwdriver. I keep laying them down somewhere, so we're down to this yellow screwdriver that, I don't know, hey, it's a Stanley high glow, so apparently we're not going to lose it. So anyway, what we want to do, find your master carb. That's going to be the one with the little dial on it. Now it's going to be the same on, this is a four carb setup for a V4. This is very different from an inline 4, very different from a twin, very different from the VX800 that we're going to have to do carb sync on. But they're always close to similar on how you adjust them. So find your master. It's going to have a dial on it, usually a plastic knob. And I'll show you how easy this is. Now I'm going to do a bench sync and get them as close as I can. And then you're going to have to dial them in properly with the, well, right there's my tool. Gonna have to actually do it right on the bike because you got to dial it in to the motorcycle rather than, this is just getting them all level to a baseline within themselves. So what I like to do, typically you're gonna have a very tiny hole right in the bottom of the Venturi, and I like to dial that in. You can watch this move. You see? The distance there is getting bigger. So what I want to do, bring it down to the point of which I can almost not see that hole. See, it's getting closer and closer and closer. So you basically want this closed. I want to just have that disappear. And it's not doing it. I guess that's all we got. The adjustment doesn't go any further than that. Where is... Yep, we are away from... Yeah, the adjustment's not doing anything now. Alright, well then I guess we're going to adjust it. See, that worked on my Ninja. We're going to adjust that to the point that it's just touching and making contact. See, that's weird. I'm surprised that... Whoa. Let's flick this a little bit here. Yeah, I'm surprised that gives out so quickly. Alright, well maybe you shouldn't be listening to me. Alright, well... I'm gonna adjust it to the point of just getting to that hole. Okay, that's where it stops. Alright, so we're going to adjust it to the point of just on the other side of that hole. See, we're learning as we go, guys. Learning as we go. Alright, so that's right where it makes contact. So that's where I'm going to keep it. See, when this is on the bike, well, I can turn this. Once these are all adjusted, I can just turn this and it'll change all of them. So now I want to bring this one into spec with that one. So you can't see the holes at all here. Gonna flip that open. Okay, so yep, we're just beyond that little hole. So over here, I want this one to go back to the same location that that one is. All right, guys. So this one, I'm just seeing the hole. It's right on the edge, right on the edge. So I turned this screw to match this one. Of course, first I set this one with the main dial. And this is the adjustment for this one. And we have that turned out to just seeing the screw, or the hole. So I like that. I think they're pretty close. Ow, we gotta flip it around. And typically on a 4-carb setup, you match these two to each other. Oh, we gotta flip it completely over. Where are we at on these guys? Wow, they're already pretty close. Pretty close or perfectly close. There's dirt in these things. Ew, it's grimy in there. Ugh, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if these screws are rusting. I don't know why they're doing that. I hope that doesn't give me any issues though. So I'm gonna wipe this out so I can see it better. These are really, really close to where I want them to be, so I'm happy with that. And I would assume this is probably the screw that will level these two guys out. And then this screw, I believe, would level these to the other side. So I'm gonna mess with this a little bit and wipe this up, see if I can get them close. Oh guys, under careful inspection, these on this side, this would be the front side of the bike, are just about perfect. So all I had to do was adjust the other side, and I really like where these are sitting. I flicked it a couple times, snapped it in, and they're not moving, so I'm not even gonna make any adjustments on this side. I like where they're sitting, but the one thing I want to do, because this bike would not idle when I rode it home from the shop. So what I'm doing is checking the idle adjustment screws. This is for the gas or the fuel, and they're going to be in a hole right here, and you're going to have the screw. Be very careful, you don't want to strip it out, but it's going to be plugged if it hasn't been messed with before on US bikes anyway. So it's going to be here, and also it's going to be on the outside of every carb, so it's easy to adjust if you need to while it's installed, because sometimes you do. I don't know what the manual calls for this, but I've asked around, and on my Ninja it was 2.5 turns that was a sweet spot for it. And you can adjust it to where you like it, but I like the Ninja at 2.5 turns, so I'm going to put these in at 2.5 turns. The manual might say different, but they like to recommend lean mixtures, so we like to richen it up a little bit. This was set at about 3.25 turns, so maybe this was getting flooded out. That's maybe why it wasn't idling for me. So I'm gonna go ahead, put this in. What you want to do is make sure be very careful when you're putting it in. You don't want to strip out anything in there. You don't want to damage the point. Oh, the other thing I did was just to make sure it was all open. When I had the screw out, I threw some carb cleaner in there. It comes out this hole right here. So if you spray carb cleaner in here and it runs out here, then your passageway should be pretty open. So I'm going to do that to every one of them. I'm going to turn this in the whole way till it stops, just lightly. You'll know when it stops. and then turn it out by 2.5 turns. And that'll be perfectly set for bench sinking. And then this carb set is ready to go back in. So I'm going to go ahead, turn this in, and then I'll show you on this one when I spray some carb cleaner in. You can watch it come out there. Alright, just took the second one out here. Now there is a washer sitting down in there. Make sure you don't lose that. Make sure it doesn't fall out on you. But we're going to throw some carb cleaner in here. Just a little bit. Make sure it's flowing freely. Okay, that's coming out a different hole. Maybe what I told you was wrong. It might be coming out the hole I used to set the... Alright. So apparently it's coming out a different hole. It's coming out the hole. It's not coming out the hole I thought it would. Right there. This is coming out up by the butterfly valve. I thought it came out this hole in the other one. That's weird. Now, what's that mean? I hope it doesn't mean that that is clogged. No, because this one comes up from the float bowl. Okay. So if this one comes up from the float bowl, and that one comes... Okay, well, here while I'm adjusting my idle adjustment screws, I'm noticing something that I don't love. I'm going to show you a clean passageway over here. So here we go. Give it a little spray. Oh, all over us. Okay. Well, you can see that one's wide open. It's not what I planned to do, but anyway. Now, let's look at this one. It's getting better. Nope, it's backed up again. I really don't know. This is not working. It's just not giving me the right amount of fluid flow. So I need to work at trying to open this up. I gotta find some way to poke through that passage. I've been trying to use a guitar string and it is not really doing a whole lot. The flow's a lot better than it was. And then it stops. See that? Yeah. So there's something getting stuck in there. And I gotta figure it out. Maybe if I go this way. Ah! I told you this thing wouldn't idle right. I wonder if this is why. See, it's not even flowing. Yep, I gotta open up this hole. All the other three were good. This one, I gotta figure this out. Alright guys, just to let you know, I got this passageway opened up. Excuse me. I could not get my guitar string through. This might be a smaller hole than I can actually get through with my guitar string, even though it's very small. So I grabbed my air compressor, blew some compressed air through here and through here. For a little while it wasn't working, but finally opened her up and she's shooting through pretty good, pretty solid. So I think we're going to be okay now. I hope. Well, before I put this back together, I need to show you air fuel adjustment screw, spring, washer, gasket. Don't lose any of this stuff. I didn't realize there was a gasket in there, but there is. Make sure it either doesn't come out or it's lined up when you put it back in. Don't lose any of this stuff or you'll have leaky fuel. All right, guys. I'm going to put this back in. I got this sucker wide open now. So I'm psyched. This puppy's going to run like new. So I read in my manual that the air fuel adjustment screws need to be 2 3/4 turn. So I set them for 2.5. So all we're going to do, turn it in till it lightly seats. And then I will turn it out by 1, 2, half, and then give me 1/4. So that's all there is to it. Now, it should run good, we hope. And yeah, I'll do that the other 3, and it's time to put these guys back in the bike. Well, here's the other one right here. I'll show you this one. So right now it's 2.5. You got a half turn in. 1, 2. There we go. Now I'm going to turn it out by 1, 2, a half, and then 1/4. That should be about right there too.